Hello and welcome to Clinton's Corner. My name is Clinton Jarman. Thanks for joining me once again on this fine Monday afternoon. As usual, Clinton's Corner brings you all the latest sports updates from around the world and here in South Africa as well. Just before I get into it, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe here on our YouTube channel as well as our online magazine, thefairdigest.com. Also guys, don't forget to comment below. I'd love to hear from you guys and see what you have to say about Clinton's Corner. So straight into it then, we're going to start off with some NBA action. That's basketball for you guys. So in the Eastern Conference, the Milwaukee Bucks, they're on top of that conference. They won their last game 104-90 against the Detroit Pistons. I will get this name right one day. Antetokounmpo scoring 28 points and getting 10 rebounds there. Bucks moving to a 13-3 record on their season currently. Then the Toronto Raptors, they took on the Atlanta Hawks and they beat the Hawks to 119-113. Pascal Siakam getting 34 points in this one. This one, the Raptors winning despite Trae Young, the rookie's 30-point triple-double. He had 30 points, 10 rebounds and 10 assists. So, Trae Young looking like maybe a star for the future. Raptors now moving to an 11-4 record. There are three teams currently on an 11-4 record in the Eastern Conference. The Celtics, they lost unfortunately 96-92 to the Denver Nuggets. For the Denver Nuggets, Murray getting 22 points and Nikola Jokic 18 points, 16 rebounds and 10 assists. Celtics are now, they dropped to an 11-4 record as well. And then the last team that's on an 11-4 record is the Miami Heat. They unfortunately fell to the Philadelphia 76ers, 113-86. Richardson in this one for Philadelphia getting 32 points and Joel Embiid 23 points and 11 rebounds. Miami Heat obviously 11-4 as well, and 76ers 11-5 just behind them in the standings there. Then we move to the West. The dominant Lakers continued their dominance over the weekend as they moved to a 14-2 record. They beat the Memphis Grizzlies 109-108. LeBron James with 30 points and Anthony Davis with 22 points in this one were the main standout guys, as you'd expect really. And then the Nuggets, obviously I just told you the Nuggets beat the Celtics and they moved now to a 12-3 record there. The Los Angeles Clippers, they've moved up in the standings now. They beat the Pelicans. Yes, the Pelicans 134-109. Harrell getting 34 points, Kawhi Leonard 26 points in this one. Clippers now moved to a 12-5 record. Then the Dallas Mavericks, they took on the Houston Rockets over the weekend and they beat them 137-123. Luka Doncic continuing his great form with 41 points, 10 assists there. The Mavs winning this one despite James Harden getting 32 points and 11 assists on the night for the Rockets. Mavs moved now to an 11-5 record there in the Western Conference. Then there was some NFL action for you guys yesterday. The Browns, they took on the Dolphins. The Browns now have won 3 games in a row. They beat the Dolphins 41-24. They moved now to a 5-6 record and maybe in with a shot still at making the wild card race there. Then the Saints, they continued winning ways. But they had to work for it against the Panthers. The Panthers coming back in this one to level the scores, and then Panthers actually, their kicker missed a kick right at the end to put them ahead. Saints would have still had the drive maybe to try and tie the scores and go to overtime, but it wasn't to be. Their kicker held his nerve and they ended up winning this one. Saints moved now to a 9-2 record there. The Philadelphia Eagles, they suffered a loss against the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks beat them 17-9. Now this wasn't the greatest game to watch. I did watch sort of most of the game. Carson Wentz just wasn't very good on the day. And although Russell Wilson wasn't much better, he did the right things at the right times, and got the vital touchdown pass that led to the win. Eagles now move to 5-6 record, and Seahawks now with a 9-2 record. Then the Patriots, they played against the Cowboys. Now this was a war of attrition. It really was. The wind was howling. The rain was coming down. It was very difficult for both quarterbacks to get anything going. And the Pats defense was on top again. They forced a turnover in the first half, and from that resulting turnover, Tom Brady found the rookie Marquise Harry in the end zone, and that was the only touchdown of the game. Otherwise, both teams were restricted to field goals. And Pat's field goal kicker didn't have a great game, but because of the touchdown, was let out of jail there. The Pats moved down to a 10-1 record. The Cowboys 6-5 now. And then the San Francisco 49ers took on the Green Bay Packers, and now this was one of the big games of the weekend. The 49ers winning this one 37-8 against the Green Bay Packers. The 49ers moving up to a 10-1 record. Packers are 8-3 on the season. Both teams still very much in the playoff hunt. Then just looking ahead to tomorrow, 3 o'clock in the morning. I know it's a bit early for some of us, but 3 o'clock, 3:15, Central African time, the Rams are taking on the Ravens. Now this should be a great game. Lamar Jackson is absolutely on fire at the moment, and Jared Goff and the Rams need something to get them going. So maybe the visiting Ravens. I'm not sure if they're visiting, but maybe the Ravens playing against the Ravens will inspire them. For the rest of the season. We'll have to wait and see on that. But my prediction is probably the Ravens. I'd say 35-23 to the Ravens there. I just don't see the Rams. Their defense hasn't been that great this season. Then moving back home now, Mzansi Super League that was played yesterday. So the Paul Rocks, they took on the Cape Town Blitz once again, the Cape Derby. Paul Rocks batted first, Henry Davids managing 46 and Dwayne Pretorius 29 in their innings. The pick of the bowlers were Dale Steyn with 2 for 38 in his 4, and Magala with 2 for 35 in his 4. In reply, the Cape Town Blitz fell too short. They scored 161. Bjorn Fortuin and Bray Shamsi effectively putting the brakes on the Cape Town Blitz. Fortuin 2 for 20 in his 4, Shamsi 2 for 26 in his 4. So spinners very much putting the brakes on it there, and the Rocks win by 2 runs. Then the Josie Stars, they needed to win by a bonus point against the Spartans to have any hope of making the playoffs, but it wasn't to be. The Tshwane Spartans, they won the toss and elected to bat first, and scoring 155. Abe de Villiers chipping in there with 53, and Pike van Biljon with 45. They were actually in a bit of trouble there, the Spartans, but Pike and AB, had quite a big partnership that got them back in the game, and to be fair, probably won them the game in the end. Pick of the bowlers for the Josie Stars were Aaron Pangiso with 2 for 32 in his 4, and Dan Christian with 2 for 30 in his 4. Then in reply, the Josie Stars fell 20 runs short. They made 135. Chris Gale getting them off to an absolute flyer, and at one stage it looked like they might win with a bonus point, but it wasn't to be, as they fell away quite badly. Chris Gale with 54 and Temba Bavuma with 35 there. Pick of the Spartans bowlers was Tom Curran, the Englishman Tom Curran, with 3 for 30 in his 4, and then Rudolf von der Merwe coming home once again with 2 for 11 in 3 overs. That's brilliant from the left arm orthodox spinner. So Spartans win there by 20 runs. Spartans look a very good side. Cape Town Blitz are a bit inconsistent, but then again so are the Paul Rocks. I would have to say at this stage I see probably the Blitz and the Spartans in the final, with perhaps the Blitz taking it. I just think their top order is just, if you don't get one or two wickets up front, you are absolutely screwed with these lads, because they've got hitting nearly all the way down the order, and they came so close to winning against the Paul Rocks yesterday, even though that their top order didn't fire. So, you know, Vernon Philander, he got 31 and Nawaz got 41 there. So just showing that they've got batting all the way down, and that's important in this type of tournament. Then moving on, some boxing news, some heavyweight boxing news. Deontay Wilder took on Luis Ortiz, and this was early hours of Sunday morning in here in South Africa. Deontay Wilder managed to KO him in the 7th round, but before that, you know, Ortiz was taking the fight to Wilder, as many would have expected. You know, these two have met before, and you know, Ortiz has a vicious left hand, and he can drop you at any second. Yeah, but the setup from Wilder was beautiful. He was throwing a sort of a feint the whole sort of first 6 rounds. He was throwing this feint the whole time, and I was just thinking to myself the whole time while I was watching it, he's going to follow that with a straight right at some point. He's just got to get the timing right and wait for the opening. And that's exactly what happened. Wilder timed it beautifully, threw the feint, which made it more effective was he threw a jab just before that, which landed. And then when he threw the feint this time, the opening was there, and boom, flattened him. Good night, Ortiz. Was a absolutely beautiful knockout. Now, Ortiz said that, you know, the count was a bit quick for him and he could have carried on, but having a look at the way he went down, in his face when he looked down, he looked like he was in no man's land. Only, you know, sort of after the fight when they were talking to him, then he sort of was making sense. But yeah, I think the ref did the right thing by stopping the fight. I don't think Ortiz for the first 30 seconds to a minute would have been up to the fight there. Then Wilder, after the fight, saying that there will be a Tyson Fury and Wilder rematch, and that will take place in February. And then after that, he wants to unify the belts with the winner of Joshua and Andy Ruiz. Now, obviously, Joshua and Andy Ruiz are scheduled to fight now. I think it's the 14th of December. They're scheduled to fight, so, you know, we'll bring that to you, and then obviously we'll have the big matchup then after the February fight between Wilder and Fury. But the heavyweight division is huge right now. There's so many guys, so many good boxers now in the heavyweight division. It's really exciting. It hasn't been this way for a long time, not since the days of Lennox Lewis and those sort of guys. You know, when I was way younger. Yeah. So then, last but not least, just moving on to some cricket news, some rather sad news involving Jofra Archer. Obviously, England are playing against New Zealand, or currently in battle against New Zealand in a test series. England lost the first test by an innings, but that's not the story I want to bring to you. The story I want to bring to you is Jofra Archer. He suffered some racist abuse while they were leaving the field after the test match. Now, you know, this is something that you never want to see in cricket, and you know, I think that New Zealand cricket have responded well here. They've said, you know, they've looked, they tried to find the guy, the perpetrator. They couldn't find him, but now they're going to go back. They're going to look at CCTV footage, and if there is anything to report, they will report the guy to the police. And then if Jofra wants to take it further, he can. Good on the New Zealand officials for, you know, taking this matter really seriously and you know, sending an apology to Jofra, and also saying that security will be beefed up for the next test, and guys will be made aware of the situation. You know, I think in New Zealand, for the most part, guys are not that way inclined, and that's maybe why they weren't looking for that sort of thing. But they've been told now, you know, maybe the guy comes to the next test, so to watch out for that sort of thing. And I think that's good from New Zealand cricket to come out and strongly against it, and also to try and stamp it out, you know, from the outset. And I think, you know, UEFA can probably learn a thing or two there. I think that, yeah, it's sad for Jofra, and I wish him well. And I just hope that these idiots that come to the games that believe that the color of their skin makes them better than everyone else. Honestly, guys, just stay away rather. We don't need you guys in the world, at cricket, at rugby, at soccer, anywhere. And that's kind of the message. That is the message we want to send here at the Fair Digest. That's just not. It's just not on. It's just not cricket, as they say. So yeah. So I'll just leave you guys right there because that is all I've got for today. So don't forget to join me on the Wild Protea, guys. This week we will be diving into the current Proteas situation or lack thereof, to be honest. Yeah. So we'll see you again on Friday for the Wild Protea. Don't forget to like this video once again. Don't forget to subscribe here on the YouTube channel as well as the online magazine. And don't forget to comment, guys. Get your comments in. I'd love to hear from you guys. See if there's anything else you'd like me to cover in the sports section. So yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. Have a great week ahead, and I will see you again Friday for the Wild Protea. Cheers, guys.